Nothing worth doing ever came easy.
Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation.
Never, ever quit. Never quit. Adversity makes you stronger. Don't give in, don't back down, and never stop doing what you know is right. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedoms. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way.
When they couldn't beat him, they tried to bankrupt him.
President Trump is back in a New York City courtroom.
When that didn't work, they tried to put him in federal prison.
Raided by the FBI.
When that didn't work, they even tried to kill him.
He just tried to kill President Trump.
Donald Trump still stands, ready to fight, ready to win, and ready to make America great again.
This is Donald Trump's house, brother.
This election, we all get to choose. I'm going to choose real American leadership and a real American badass. The 45th and soon to be 47th President Donald J. Trump.
Day one, we will defeat inflation quickly and we will make America affordable again. I will cut your energy costs in half. It's time for the working man and woman to finally catch a break. We are going to bring back the American dream, bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. When I'm back in the White House, we will restore world peace, and it will be again peace through strength. I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. And we'll put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America.
We all salute the same great American flag. Our best days are yet to come.
Together, we will make America great again.
In 3 days, the entire world changes. In 3 days, we are getting our country back. In 3 days, power will once again return to the people. The establishment elites are running panicked. The rats are fleeing the ship as we speak, and a new era of freedom and liberty is about to dawn all across the nation. All because of you. Because of what you did on November the 5th. You rose up and you declared in no uncertain terms to all the world that we Americans are free men, and free men will not be ruled. This is our nation. This is our moment. And in 72 hours, the world will never be the same.
Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President, thank you, Donald, congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So good. Welcome back.
Gang, what you just saw there was both the president and the vice president eerily congratulating Trump and promising a peaceful transition of power. Well, that's something I'd like to believe, but it's hard to believe those words when they're coming from the mouths of pure serial liars. I mean, career liars. So what does that mean for the next few months? the opposite of what they're promising. So absolute chaos, economically, culturally, politically. We might be in for war for all we know. So what should you do? You should at least own some gold. The markets might be up right now, but who knows what's going to happen between now and January? You need to protect yourself against the last hurrah of the worst administration America has ever had. We know it's coming. I don't know what, but something is between now and January 20th. You might think they're just going to hand over a pristine, happy, functioning country to the man they tried to assassinate and put in jail, entirely ruin. No, something's coming, and you need to be financially prepared for it. You need to talk to Goldco and protect yourself against this last battle. Get some gold in your portfolio. In the coming months, you'll be glad that you did. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code and just chat with them. You'll be glad that you did. Ladies and gentlemen, our long national nightmare that we have endured together these past 4 years is now almost over. Just hours from now, a new springtide of liberty will officially dawn its morning light across the nation. I was thinking about this morning, meditating on what that means, and I was reminded of the great C.S. Lewis and his wonderful work, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. If you've ever read that, you remember that Narnia, the land of Narnia, had been taken over by the wicked white witch Jadis, whose evil reign cast a spell over Narnia of a perpetual winter, right? A permafrost that prevented any and all life to blossom forth. There was never any sun. It was always overcast and dreary. And Lewis brilliantly summed this whole condition up with this wonderful line. In Narnia, it was always winter, but never Christmas. The Narnians were trapped in a perpetual, frozen desert of death. And then Aslan comes. Aslan, the great lion, who's an incarnation of the divine force of all that is true and good and beautiful. He comes to Narnia. And the moment he steps into that frozen world, everywhere he goes, it begins to thaw. The ice begins to melt, and a springtide of life begins to blossom everywhere, and the sun begins to shine, and a great army rises up to take back Narnia and the kingdom of good and righteousness. Or think of that wonderful scene in The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, when Gandalf visits King Theoden at his court, and King Theoden has long been suffering from a spell-induced senility cast upon him by the dark forces of the evil Saruman and his servant Wormtongue. And in a manner that almost completely overlaps with our own situation, the king was sidelined by demonic dementia, so that these dark forces were unleashed to take over the kingdom. He wasn't ruling anymore. It was the darkness. It was the dark forces that began to take over. But unbeknownst to the evil Wormtongue, who really controlled the kingdom, Gandalf hid his magical staff under his cloak, successfully smuggling into the king's court. He raised his staff and he called out, "Now, Theoden, son of Thangel, will you hearken to me? I bid you come out before your doors and look abroad. Too long have you sat in shadows and trusted to twisted tales and crooked promptings." And after an exorcism like struggle, suddenly, Theoden came alive again. His wits about him, he stood up renewed, ready to once again defend his kingdom. And Gandalf said to him these wonderful words, "Now, Lord, look out upon your land and breathe the free air again." My friends, that is what awaits us in mere hours from now. A new springtide of life and liberty is poised to burst forth and blossom throughout our land after a long, dreary winter of these bleak Biden years. The dreariness of a demonic dementia is about to be replaced by the dynamism of freedom and faith. And it is literally already happening. The winter is thawing. The springtide is blossoming. It's not just peace in the Middle East, which officially goes into effect just hours before Trump takes the oath of office. It's things like this. Did you see this? This just came out today. The FBI has just shut down its DEI office. Fox News is reporting that they can confirm that FBI officials, these of law enforcement and protection, has now officially come to an end. It's over. It's over. And if it's over in D.C., it's over everywhere. If DEI is over in D.C., it is over everywhere. You've got to get that. If DEI dies in D.C., it dies everywhere. And this is because DEI is a top-down, neo-feudalized ideological fundamentalism where government officials deputize corporations to do what politicians, being restrained by the will of the voters, simply couldn't politically pull off. So that's why corporate boardrooms have always, corporate boardrooms have been relied upon to shove DEI down our throats as a way of shielding establishment Washington bureaucrats from the wrath of voters. But alas, that wrath has come, and it has come precisely for that establishment. And now DEI is dead in the city of D.C. And if it's dead in D.C., you could be assured at least eventually it will die everywhere. Case in point, take a look at the latest about the reports of Mark Zuckerberg and his about face. Zuckerberg, of course, of Meta, will be co-hosting a black tie event in D.C. following Trump's inauguration to celebrate, those are their words, to celebrate Trump's victory. According to reports, Zuckerberg is partnering with longtime Republican mega donors, as well as a new ambassador to Italy under President Trump, Tilman Fertitta. This comes on the heels of reports that Zuckerberg actually donated $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund. And this after attending, of course, a number of meetings with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, where he was kissing the ring quite publicly. Now, I know the initial reaction from most of you, if not all of you out there, is one of skepticism and cynicism, and absolutely rightly so. I mean, Tim Pool is expressing, he was on Fox, actually. I don't know if you saw Tim on Fox the other day. And that's exactly what he said when he was asked about it. Yeah, well, sure, after Trump wins, it's pretty easy to come out and go, yay, yay, team. It's pretty easy to see why Zuckerberg's having a change of heart, right? You always want to be on the winning team, right? Who remembers the movie Austin Powers? Remember, one of my favorite scenes is when he wakes up after being frozen in ice for decades since the 1960s. Check out what he says and does.
This is Commander Gilmore, U.S. Strategic Command, and General Borshevsky, Russian intelligence.
Russian intelligence? Are you mad?
A lot's happened since you were frozen. The Cold War's over.
Well, finally those capitalist pigs will pay for their crimes, eh? Hey, comrades? Hey?
Austin, we won.
Oh, groovy, smashing. Yay, capitalism.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had the AI tech. I would have put Mark Zuckerberg's face in there. Yeah, right. Yay, Kamala. Yay, come on. No, Trump won. Oh, go Trump. So in 2020, he's all for Biden. He pumps $500 million into turning out the Democrat vote in select swing states, censors any and all news that was damaging to Biden, like the Hunter Biden laptop, right? And then the granddaddy of them all, he banned President Trump from Facebook after J6. Now, January 2025. Yay, Trump. Yay, he's a badass. He's the best. Now, I know, we all get it. It's very, very easy to be cynical. But do not lose sight of the big picture here of what's really happening in all of this. What does this about face by Zuckerberg really represent? Well, we have to remember, and I know you were all there. Many of us were there together back in January of 2021. We remember it like yesterday. We have to remember what the significance of banning Trump from Facebook and Twitter really represented. In doing the unthinkable, in banning a sitting president from a major big tech social media outlet, big tech oligarchs like Zuckerberg and at the time Jack Dorsey of Twitter were sending an unmistakable message to all of us in the MAGA movement. You are not in charge. We are. This system, this establishment of billionaire and bureaucrat is more powerful than any president, and it's more powerful than you will ever be. And it's more powerful than anyone you will ever elect to try to take us down. Don't even think you matter. The consent of the governed has effectively been replaced by the decree of the elite. We, the unelected powers that be, have so effectively rigged the system and restructured society that we're not just more powerful than the president. We're so powerful that we can guarantee that an offense like Trump will never, ever happen again. That was the message, the unmistakable message of January 2021. We, the billionaires and the bureaucrats that run the establishment, we are more powerful than the President of the United States, which means that there's absolutely nothing you, the people, can do to stop us and to thwart our rule over your lives. That was the unmistakable message that was sent in January of 2021. And here we are. January 2025. And what's the message now? What's the message that's being sent all over the world as we speak? It's not that Zuckerberg is two-faced or fake or fraud or a coward. Sure, that may be true. It most likely is. It's not that he's an opportunist or a pragmatist. Again, sure, but you're thinking too small. We do not think small on this channel. We are cosmic in our perspective. What, against that pernicious historical backdrop that we all live through, what is the real message being sent? With Zuckerberg and everyone kissing the ring, what's the message being sent? We won. We really did win. And you just have to let that hit you. We really, honestly, unequivocally, hands down, won. After throwing literally everything they had at us, everything, even trying to imprison Trump for life, even trying to take his life. After throwing literally everything they had at us, we are the ones standing. We are the ones, fists in the air, vowing to fight, 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 no matter what they throw at us. For as long as it takes, we're going to fight. We're going to fight for faith. We're going to fight for family. We're going to fight for freedom, for our nation, for our culture, for our children, for generations to come. We are going to fight, and we will never, ever, ever back down. And as it turned out, that menacing, pernicious establishment, the real oligarchy that Biden so feebly attempted to defend, as a result of our unwillingness to ever back down, that menacing establishment collapsed. It imploded. Just like I told you they would, by the way, for 8 years. Said, give it time. I know you got to be patient, but this thing is going the way of the Soviet Union. This thing is going the way of the Berlin Wall. And it's largely through a process known as delegitimation. I'm not going to get into that right now, but the same form of delegitimizing dynamics that brought down the Soviet Union was clearly evidencing itself among the vast majority of the country here at home. And it's starting to happen in Europe as well. I mean, it's astonishing when the people rise up and no longer want to live under tyrannies. Tyrannies collapse like a house of cards. They literally crumble into dust precisely because the people rise up and stand their ground. And because you did that, we won. We won. That is the unmistakable message that Zuckerberg is sending right now. You guys won. That's the unmistakable message of those insufferable MSNBC idiot narcissists, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, running down to Mar-a-Lago literally hours after Trump wins just to kiss his ring. It made their audience at MSNBC livid. The lunatic left was livid over that. How could you do that? You know why they could do that? Because they recognize they're not idiots. They're narcissists, but they're not idiots. They recognize he won. We won. They lost. And we're not just talking an election. They recognize this was the single most consequential election probably ever in the history of this country. Because it changes everything. Either it was going to guarantee our demise, or it was going to change everything. And now all the powers that be recognize that something much larger and more formidable than anything that the establishment could possibly muster is coming crashing down on them like a massive tidal wave. And being the gutless, soulless cowards that they are, they today are down on their knees begging Trump and the MAGA movement for mercy, going, yay, MAGA. Yeah, I was always one of you. I was always one of you. Yay, MAGA. That, my friends, is the real message being sent to us and to the entire establishment. That's a big thing. Do not forget that. That is exactly what Mika and Joe and Zuckerberg are saying to the establishment. Get on board the Trump train. Get on board the Trump train or you're going to get steamrolled. It's that simple. We won, they lost. Get on board or get steamrolled. And Zuckerberg has no intention of getting steamrolled.
Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. This will truly be the